No one sat there. What an ungrateful prick. Who is it? Joanne. Who's Joanne Edinburgh? Where's she? Is she in here? She's not here. Why? Do you know her? No. What? Does anyone know Joanne Edinburgh? This isn't how I'm going to start the show. Weird. Unless imagine if she comes up and does it in Edinburgh as well. No offence to Phil, I knows her, but what a bitch she's turned out to be. She's always late to my gigs. This is my show, this is Prequel. I'm Tom. Everybody say hi, Tom. Yeah, it's good to be here. It's nice. My show is about life-changing moments. Yeah, some of you might have had it today, but you decided to come and watch this show. Some of you might be having it right now. I've won recently, a couple of months ago, I decided to move in. We decided to move in together, me and my girlfriend. So, yeah. Thanks. Cheers. Managed to get shit. It was long distance, so much of the relationship. Has anyone here ever done a long distance relationship? Yeah. How did you find it? Tricky. Are you still in it? Yeah. Where are you and where are they? You moved in together. Okay. Well, that's not tricky anymore. Where was the relationship? Oh, you are the fella, I suppose. Yeah. Where were you and where were you? Brighton, Bedford. That's not too bad. My girlfriend lived in Manchester and I lived in London. I was trying to explain this to my friend Mike. I said, the thing is, mate, when she's not there, my bed feels empty. He went, why? How big is she? I said, emotional, you prick. Mike is that idiot. You know, you have that friend that you have that you keep around because he just makes you feel smart. It just makes you feel so much better about yourself, right? That's Mike's role in my life, right? There was a newspaper story recently, some of you might have seen it, it was in America, and basically what it was there was rich families, they were basically hiring disabled actors to go to Disney World with them, and they were going on all the rides first because they were posing as family members, right? Generally true story, right? I'm not making this up, right? Now, I read that story, right? There is a business in America, and that's their role in society, to hire out disabled actors, right? They get paid over $1,000 a day, right? Now you read that and you think, God, where does the moral line lie there? Who's getting sort of exploited? I thought I need to discuss this with somebody because I'm not sure how I feel about it. I feel a bit murky reading this. I chose the wrong person to talk about it with. I chose Mike. I don't know if you remember from the previous story, Mike's a fucking idiot, right? And I went, Mike, have you seen this story? Rich families are paying disabled people to jump the queue at Disney World. And he went, what, like Evel Knievel? I'll tell you about some of the main players in my life. Obviously, about life-changing moments, you need to know some of the main players. Toal, father, policeman for 30 years. So mum took the phrase, fuck the police, literally. And Mama Toal, Ella Toal. She's where I get my Polishness from, because I'm quarter Polish. Only Polish people in? Only racist people in? Just checking. Because I was out in a local shopping centre, there was this guy with a clipboard, and he started talking to me about Eastern European immigration into the country. I said, mate, that's awkward because I'm quarter Polish. So he started to tell me what he didn't like about Polish people, which is always nice. And he just started going, look mate, right, what the Poles ever done for us? What the Poles ever done for us? What the Poles? I thought, he sounds like a disgruntled stripper. I said, actually mate, right, I'll take you up on that point, because did you know, during the Battle of Britain, a large contingent of Polish fighter pilots actually came over, fought and died for the British RAF during the war, so that's what the Poles done for us. That's a top fact, right? Holstered, yeah. He didn't take his point, he just went, yeah, see, coming over here, taking our jobs. Nice thing about my mum is where I moved, I moved back closer to home, back to my hometown. It's nice because Wednesday afternoons I don't do anything. And I've come to the realisation, right, that I can never pay back what my parents have bought me. Like, if they need to go backdate rent from like birth, I'll be screwed, right? So what I'll start doing is I'll start doing nice little things with mum, right? So I'll start taking her to cinema. And then when it comes to time, comes to pay, I'll be like, no, it's on me. Put your money away. The guy will go, 2 tickets, yeah? And then he'll look at both of us and I'm like, no, it's me, big man now. I'll pay for both of them. Yeah, I feel like a big man. Right now, it's one particular time. I've been getting these headaches. So I went to the doctor and he said, right, what you need to do is, we're going to cut out certain types of chocolate. You're not going to eat certain types of chocolate. We'll see if it's anything to do with lactose intolerant or something like that. So I'm at the counter going, no, big boy now. I'll buy the tickets. I looked, and there were some Maltesers. I went, Mum, am I allowed Maltesers? Suddenly I'd gone from big boy to just being in charge of the car because he can remember the pin. Right? There's my dad. My dad's great. I actually talk about life-changing moments, right? First ever stand-up gig, and that's life-changing. You make a decision to do something like this, right? I was a 20-year-old law student, and I was big. Right? I know some of you look at me going, "You're fairly chubby now." Cheers, guys. But no, I was proper big. I lacked sort of, I don't know, I was like looking for in life, and I started doing stand-up, and I found the taking the very first ever gig. Now, at the time, I was doing a law degree. I was doing crimes against humanity. War crimes, right? So they say write about what you know, right? So if you imagine what my first 5 minutes were like. It's not the comic I wanted to become, it's the comic I thought you had to shock. I thought that's what comedy was. It was coming out and going, what do you do? Exactly. Look what this atmosphere is that created. What job do you do? Teach that shit, right? But it's not. It's actually not, isn't it? Right? That's not. That's a really what subject? Biology. Oh no, that really is shit. No, no, I don't want to be that type of comic, but that's what I thought you had to do to be in stand-up. You had to be a shock, and this I found it. I popped in, started watching. Right, it wasn't good. Now I'm going to tell you the joke, one of my opening jokes in my very first ever stand-up set. Right now, please don't be offended. This is the worst joke in the show because I wrote it 7 years ago. Right. Coincidentally, I know this is a preview, but don't come up to me after the show and go, actually, I found several worse jokes, right? Because that's not helpful. I was all nervous, I was all shaking, and remember, I was a jolly boy back then, even jollier now. On my 16th birthday, I went to hug my dad to thank him for the gifts he had bought me, but he held out his hand and said, no, Tom, you're a man now, we shake hands, we don't hug. Which I thought was hypocritical of him, because at 6 years old, thought I was too young to have sex, didn't stop him, right? Paedophile joke, right? I did. I did learn it, right? The reason I'm telling you guys tonight, Bedford, right, is as I was watching this tape back, my dad decided then to walk behind me. Right? He just went, what was that? I went, I'm just watching my first ever gig back. He went, yeah, I heard my name mentioned. And it got a bit awkward, much like it is now. Right? I just explained the joke to him and he just went, you'd have been so lucky. Fucking well ugly child you were. He's one of them people that no matter how tense the situation is, he knows exactly what to say, he knows how to diffuse it, and he does it mostly with humour, right? That's how he does it. And being a comedian, I love that. Love to be able to, but sometimes I just make it worse, right? This is an example, right? Last year, his goddaughter Emily, right? She was in a coma. She was in a car accident, quite a nasty car accident. She was in a coma, and so we all go to see her. Me and my mum and my dad drove to see her, and she's been in this coma for about 15 hours, so she's completely out of it. We walk into the room. We say to her mum and dad, "Go get something to eat. Go get something to drink. We'll sit there for a bit." Yeah, go. And Dad approaches Emily. She's just out of it like that, and he just gently strokes her arm. And when he did, her eyes do this. Right? I fucking shat myself. Right? Told off by a nurse, right? But my dad was really calm. He went, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right, Emily. It's just Kev. It's Ella. And it's Tom. Everything's going to be okay. He's just staring like that. The scariest thing I've ever seen. It's all right, Emily. It's just Kev. It's Ella. And it's Tom. Just it's all right, Emily. It's just Kev. It's Ella. And this went on for a while until eventually she closed her eyes. She went back to sleep, right? Now she made a full recovery. Full recovery. It was brilliant. Right? A couple months after that, she had her 21st birthday party. It was amazing. We went to see her. And walking up the garden path. She sees us coming out the window. She comes running out. She runs up to Mum. Ella! Hi! Gives her a big hug. She runs up to me. Tom, hi! Gives me a big hug. She runs up to my dad, Kev, and he just sidesteps her and carries on walking. Kev, and he just turned around and just went, oh, I see. So you're talking to him now, yeah? That last story took place in the hospital, obviously. I'm not a fan of hospital, but hospitals is one of the main settings for a life-changing moment that happened to me last year. It was, yeah, I know, a bit of theatre. Some of you thought, he's got a chair. Yeah, that's not just a stand-up show, a bit of theatre. This is the theatre section, guys. You notice the lighting change? No, that's because I forgot to tell them. So it's November the 3rd, 2013. Yeah, that's right, 2013, last year. And I was in a hospital waiting room. Now, one of the things we do when we're by ourselves is we just normally get out our phone, go on Facebook, Twitter, right? I don't want to make you worried straight away, guys, but I had no battery on my iPhone. I know, fucking yes. Right? Now something on board with the peril I'm in, right? So I'm just sitting there, and I don't know what you... Does anyone have any suggestions what you can do when your iPhone's out? What do you actually do anymore? See, no one knows. And don't go on your BlackBerry, right? That's not helping, right? And I'm there, and I start doing this game, right? You look at people. Does anyone people watch? Yeah. Right, that's what I started to do. I started to people watch, but that's getting a bit boring. So what I started to do is I started to try and guess what people's jobs are. Right? Now, I'm pretty sure there's a girl there that's a teacher. Right? Now, there's a guy over there in a suit. I think he works in insurance. I think that guy in the white coat is a doctor. Right? I'm not sure of that one. And then the nurse comes out. She goes, she wants to see you, and beckons me inside. And I go, and that's the end of the theatre bit. Right? Now, I did kind of like, I said about my first gig, my very first ever public speaking appearance was at my granddad's funeral. Right? Now, my granddad was a great man. He was from Belfast, big jolly man. It's a feature of the Toals. Right? And he died Boxing Day. And they were burying him the very next day. In Ireland, they don't fuck about, right? They're scared of zombies. They will bury you next day. So it's just me and my dad in the car driving to the funeral because it was literally getting going. So we're driving. And I turned to my dad, and I'm 16 at the time. And I want to sort of check he's okay. His dad's just died. But I've got nothing to talk about because I'm 16. Got no life experiences. No, the only thing that was happening at the time is I just started to have sex for the first time right now. Some of you are doing the maths, and you're going, well, 16, 27 now. So that's over 11 years in the game, guys. And I have just started to get really okay at it. Like, proper average was my last review. Always ask for feedback, I find. And I thought I'd do a responsible adult thing and tell my dad in this scenario. We're driving along in the car, just turned to him, just went, Dad, just let you know, I'm having sex now. He went, oh yeah? No, not in my car. Wouldn't do that again. No, I went, well, thanks for telling me, Tom. It's very responsible of you, very adult of you. All I'm going to say to you is this. Be careful. Alright, so the only thing I'm going to say is be careful. Right? Now my dad took that information and he stored it in his brain for 4 months till one day, 7:30 in the morning, I was waking up on top of me going, Tom, what? What'd I say to you, son? It's the one thing I said to you. Be careful. The only thing I said to you, Tom, was be careful! What? Her dad's on the phone. She's pregnant. April Fools! Oh, you prick! He was so proud of himself as well, alright? Massive grin just came to her, I was shaking on the bed, just went, Tom, did I get you? But we can't find the church. Is this alright, or is that just me if I knocked it or anything? Can you hear me? Yeah. I won't do that again, Edinburgh. We can't find the church, and so we have to ask for directions. And obviously we're in Ireland, so the only people to ask are Irish people. And this guy gives us perhaps the best and worst piece of advice ever. We said, excuse me, do you know the way to Our Lady of the Angels Church? And he went, ooh, now, if I was you lads, I wouldn't start from here. Mind telling us where you would start from, and then could you tell us the way to Our Lady of the Angels Church from there, please? We get to the. Has anyone here ever gigged at a funeral? Gigged? Gigged at a funeral? Yeah, the MC, the priest came on, he asked where people was from, he warmed up the crowd, and I came on, did a bit of observational material. So everyone noticed this guy doesn't move. No, I had a speech for my granddad's funeral, right? That was my speech. But has anyone here ever done a speech at a funeral? Did you put jokes in it? Yeah. How did they go? Well, alright, good. I'm going to show off. I fucking died at a funeral. Right? was horrible, right? It was really horrible. The joke was, I'll give you the ingredients of the joke, right? Now, my granddad, Jim, jolly man, right? He was generous. But this is what happened, right? I put the ingredients together, I thought I'd subvert them, and there would be the punchline, right? So I went up, the MC did his warm-up, brought me up. I went, my granddad Jim was an incredibly generous man. Whenever he came round to the house, he always brought sweets with him. Occasionally, he'd let us have some. Fucking more than I got there, right? That was just a sea of disappointed faces, and they just... No. Like, literally, it was like, mate, you took the fun out of this funeral, right? I was like, oh, okay. And I got back, walk in, and sit back down next to my dad, and he's just like this. Ugh. And then they called a drinks break, right, where everyone goes to the bar, but all they had was red wine, right? And then 2 people get that joke, right? That's fine. That's all the only people who get that, right? A few people now cottoning it on. Maybe 5. Then my cousin Erin, she was headlining, right? Now, she got up and she didn't do what I did. She went for a proper emotional, like, oh, people were crying, and applause broke out, and I'm just sitting there going, oh my God, like, she's absolutely ripping this kid, right? And then after the service, there's a 300-yard walk to the graveyard, and people coming up to me going, I'm really sorry, Tom. I'm really sorry, Tom. I'm really sorry, Tom. I went, you know what, mate? The joke wasn't that bad, right? So, you guys okay? It's Thursday night. It's not quite the weekend, but we're getting on the way. I'm predisposed to asking people are okay. I think that comes from sort of being sort of self-deprecating. I was bullied at school. Although, well, I say that, I found out recently it was banter, right? But if you're self-deprecating, I can get on board with that. My friend Pat told me this once, that his granddad passed him this message, and that was, never trust a man who can't laugh at himself. It's good, isn't it? It's nice advice, right? However, Bedford, if you were to ever go into a public restroom, and there was a man staring at his own reflection, manically laughing, right? It's bad advice, don't trust a man. I think it comes from the fact that, because where I'm from a town called Bexley, right? So that means it's Kent, but it's also in London. So I've always got women in between. These are my reviews. I once had a review that said, Tom Toal comes on with swaggering lad charisma. Right? Cheers. Right? I've also had another review that says, Tom Toal is a cute bearded softie that produces as much R as he does laughter. Right? And that's conflicting. Right? To be honest with you, I am my own worst critic, right? But I'm also my biggest fan, right? And that shit comes from school days, right? Teacher, right? But that's where it sort of develops, right? Now I went to a Catholic school the other day. Did anyone here? Just hanging out. Did anyone here to a Catholic school? Yeah. Did you have prayer time there? That was my favourite part of the day, prayer time. Right, now my relationship with prayer has changed recently. You know when you're texting someone, sorry to use the iPhone analogy, you know when you're texting someone on your iPhone and you can see the whole message history and it's just like green where you tried to contact them, they haven't replied, so you've done another message, they haven't replied, you've done another message, they haven't replied. So it's just a sea of green, something, yeah, and you keep going, well maybe they're just in a really long tunnel, right, then they just haven't. That's my relationship with prayer, right, now no one's responding. But I did enjoy it. Sorry to, no, disrespond. But I loved it. As a little boy, right, I loved going to a Catholic school. I loved God, and I loved praying. Now, what you did in prayer time, very simple concept. Miss Sheehan, she was the teacher. She had a prayer box. Every day, you wrote down who you wanted to pray for on a slip of paper. You fold that slip of paper up, you put it in a prayer box. She would come out at the end of the day and read it. Right? Nice. Now, this one particular day, she was telling us about this painting and she said, hey, boys and girls, I was in Rome over the weekend and I saw this painting. It was a painting of heaven. And in heaven, everyone has their own room. It's nice, isn't it? Everyone has their own bed. But class, nobody had access to the light switch in their room because the only way a light can come on in your room in heaven is if somebody on earth is praying for you. So some of these people, class, were in the dark because no one was praying for them. I know. Guess who I was going to pray for that day? Right. You know when you do something nice, It's only really worth it if somebody comes up after you to go, that was a really nice thing that you did. Otherwise it's completely pointless, right? It is, right? It generally is. Think about it. Don't you get really, that's the most time you get annoyed, is when you've done something nice and no one fucking acknowledges it, right? And I sat down next to, I sat in class next to a kid called Daniel. Now, they're the perfect kid. Daniel, he was the perfect kid. He had lived in Texas for a year. He came back, the teachers thought he was amazing. Right? But nothing compared to this. Because I opened my paper and I thought, here we go. I wrote, I want to pray for everyone currently in the dark, so every single person is in the light and no one has to be in the dark anymore. I folded it up. Daniel was looking that way, so I did that. Because Trevor, as a kid, that was so powerful. I've not done that for years, but you didn't need any effing, any jeffing, just that, and someone knew they were defeated, right, if you got to that. Fold it up, did that to Daniel, and I started, you know what, I probably did swagger to the prayer box that day, right, absolutely swaggered, popped it in, went back to my seat, sat down, and I waited for the adulation that was to come. Here we go. Miss Shear came out at the end of the day. Okay, class. We're going to pray for Gary's gerbil. Every day for 3 months. Always pray for that gerbil. Weird kid. It died. It died. It was dead. It was a dead gerbil. Sophie's cousin's going in for an appendectomy. We'll pray for her, Sophie. Don't you worry. Oh, that's just, you're sitting there thinking, here we fucking go. Come to Papa. Class, one of your numbers really took on board something I was saying earlier about my trip to Rome and the painting. And they decided that they want us all to pray for everyone in heaven, so no one's left out, and no one's in the dark. So I just want to say thank you very much to Daniel for writing that. Fucking prick. She then went back to the prayer box and went, Tom Toal's put the same thing. Then looked at me and mouthed the words, stop copying Daniel. Right? Not the worst time in primary school, the worst time, school nativity, right? TT had the pivotal role. What's the most important role in school nativity? Not Joseph, stepdad. Not Mary, although I think I would make a good Mary. Right, cheers. Donkey, cheers mate. Probably the arse end as well. No, not Jesus, very little cameo role, 5 minutes at the end, right? Not anymore. Not the angel Gabriel, no. Innkeeper, I heard innkeeper. Who said that? Well done. Fucking innkeeper. Most important role. Think about it, right? He is the equivalent of the droid seller at the start of Star Wars, right? Without that, none of the plot could have moved forward, right? That was my role. Right? They would still be wandering around to this day looking for a stable if it wasn't for me, right? And I'm backstage, about to go on stage. I just darked down a pint of limeade, right? Now you're probably thinking, who gives out limeade to primary school children? Well, Mrs. Dursley, the dickhead, right? Now, and the thing is, the production was 3 hours long, yes. Because we had a drama teacher called Mrs. Tarrant. We nicknamed her Tarantino, right? Because she liked to fuck about with the plot. Like, really, the Bible doesn't need flashbacks, right? It really doesn't. She had this thing where they're in the stable and suddenly a crocodile gets thrown on. Mary and Joseph look at each other and go, Christ, who's going to deal with this? No worries, because Steve Irwin came out and taken it. Steve Irwin the crocodile, I don't know, she liked to fuck things up. So, I'm waiting there to go on, and as I'm walking to my mark on the stage, I can feel it. All swirling around. And I get there, and let me tell you, Bedford, right, there is a feeling worse than pissing yourself in front of 400 parents and children. And that is the feeling just before you're about to piss yourself in front of 400 parents and children. And you know there is nothing you can do about it, right? You just got to accept it, and I was about to say my line as well. Notice even now. Hear it hitting the stage. Just sea of disappointment. I remember staring into the eyes of this bearded 7-year-old, right? And he... string this. Didn't go to school with the hairy bikers. But no, he just had to... I only asked you if there was any room at the inn, right? Another thing about Tarantino, right? She wanted to update the story. She said, well, the wise men wouldn't bring gold, frankincense, and myrrh. They bring stuff for babies. So they bring bottles and nappies and rusks, right? Guess who was one of the wise men? Yeah, fucking Daniel. Right? Reaches in the bag, pulls out a nappy, goes, mate, do you want one? Admittedly, I managed to mop it up pretty quickly because there was tea towels everywhere. Right? Give it. And the thing is, if I had originally, I did try out for the role of Mary. Right? Too progressive for the school, right? Because I do blame Dursley, right? You shouldn't pints. Blame Tarantino, right? Fucking idiot. And I blame the school as an entity, right? Because I wanted to try out for the role of Mary, but it was too progressive for them. Now, if I was Mary, I could have passed it off instead of special effects and my walls. In a weird way, I don't think it's church anymore, really. But I still think God has my back, and God's got all of our backs, really. He's a weird character. I like to think of God as a bit of a Fonzie character, right? He is cool, but he's got his ways. He's got a bit of a temper on him. He's if you're in a nightclub, right, and you bump into someone, and there's a bit of a stare-off, I think God will just come in, charge in with the punches. He's that sort of friend that's got your back. He doesn't really think about it, right? Now, if some of you look at me a bit confused, I'll explain. I was in Thorpe Park about 4 years ago. I was queuing up for a ride, watching all the people in the wheelchair fly over me, and what's that rug doing there? And there was a family just in front of us, they all had red hair. Right? Now, I turned to my friend and went, oh, the Weasleys, right? Right? Nothing offensive about it, right? One of the kids hears, looks at me, turns, taps his dad on the shoulder, whispers, his dad then turns, like that. No, don't beat me up, mate. It's not an insult. I didn't call you mouthfuls, did I? I called you